boxes, motor, shit in the air. We got a bunch of shit to do. Just got home from work, from the parts store. Haven't really ate shit, so we're going off a Gansito until we get some food ready. You know, the good old Big Red. Please sponsor me, because down here in Georgia, you can't find shit. You can only find it in Texas. So, come on, sponsor me, because this is straight sugar, straight diabetes, and it's good. Motor-wise, I done told you I was going to take everything apart. Dropped the pan, took all this shit off. The oil in this motherfucker was dirty as shit. I'm talking about dirty. The plug itself has like a little imán to it to catch any kind of metal debris. It was full of metal. Hopefully there's nothing wrong. Whenever I drove it home that 1 hour, it was driving fine. No issues. It was driving pretty solid. So hopefully just the oil change will be good. Maybe they just didn't really do it as constantly as they should have. It's just being dirty. So whenever I pressure wash this motor, I pressure wash for good. Nooks and crannies, todo el pinche pedo. Well, the motor sat for about a week, and you will still see, I guess, oil seeping through the seams or seals y todo el pinche pedo, oil pan, todo, whole nine. So I went ahead and did all that bullshit. This is supposed to be the oil pan gasket. You can see, no bueno. So I actually went on the website Advance and looked up the part number by, you know, information, todo el pinche pedo. Me over here thinking, you know, maybe I did an error or whatever. He did the error. I'm not exactly sure if he said he had this exact one that I showed him in stock or not, or he had to go off of a different brand or whatever. But all this is right until you get to the 3. Well, until you get to the 0. That 0 should be a 3, and this is no good. So I'm going to have to take this back and get that swapped out, which is a pain in the ass because I got to drive 18 minutes back to town. I also went ahead and got this for the rear main, which I don't think it was leaking, but this gasket was, so that's the part number. Just for quick reference. Hell. Another thing that I want to talk about is all this stuff that I got and that was purchased for the swap basically came off another YouTube video that I looked up to do this. Like I said, I don't know much about this. I did a LS swap on the OBS that I had. I mean, everything was pretty much simple. Everybody does that. You go off a couple wires and this and that. Fuel lines are still pretty much the same ones. Fuel pump, TBI shit. Never had an issue with fuel pump itself because it was running pretty good. I mean, I did constant burnouts. I did burnout as long as I could. The only issue, the reason I had to stop was because of water pump. Or it was either water pump, radiated, or something that had air in the system. I could never get it to idle without it overheating for a short period of time. So that's the only reason why I didn't really use that truck and never really put more time into it, because I couldn't get that shit figured out, even though I put a stock radiator for the motor and then I swapped to a OBS style radiator. No, but I was back and forth with it. But as far as fuel delivery, I never had a problem with the stock fuel pump. As I mentioned, these are mechanical as far as running on the actual motor to prime y todo el pinche pedo to get your pump. So what people mostly do, which I don't feel like doing right now, we're gonna have to wing it, but trying to keep it as cheap as possible just for the meantime. He can use this tank, which is out of 86 truck. 87 fully has baffles in it, so whenever I guess you're driving around, it won't cut off because you lose fuel. Who knows fucking science about it? I don't know. So we're gonna run this same stock pump or stock fuel tank for the meantime. If he has problems later on, if he on a turn or idling or whatever, then I'll tell him to opt to just change the tank, use the same fuel pump. The fuel pump I got, like I said, all this is off a website. If I didn't mention it, I don't really know much. I was just going off of YouTube videos, forums, performance guys, performance old heads that are around town to help me out. This is the fuel pump that, you know, it recommended. We went ahead and did AN instead of doing the regular plastic ones, just to be a little bit better, because he's going to do braided lines. I don't know. I'll show you. All this was also included in the video, besides one or two things. This is just a regular Amazon cheap intake. I'm going to run it on the passenger side. This is a filter or some shit of some sort. I don't know. Like I said, I just copy and paste it and send it to the cuñado, exactly what he needed. This is the fuel line shit we're going to use. Like I said, it is the fuel pump's already ready for the AN fittings. This is 20 feet worth. It already comes with your little brackets to keep them organized. This is like a, I don't know exactly what bin that is, but I mean it comes with your 90s, your return, turn around, no sé cómo se llama esa pinche mamada. The ones that you connect actually to your fuel rail, todo el pinche pedo. So that's that. As far as fuel, we still got a couple things, but we'll worry about that later on. That's the part number. Let me see if I can find the part number on this hoe. You can watch it backwards or some shit. That's the part number for the intake. The part number for the tank. Ooh, a sticker. Or this filter should be somewhere around there. I'm not exactly sure. This is for the brackets. So whenever you do LS swap on a C10 or any kind of obviously real build, it's best to do the slotable ones. The reason why you don't do the slotable one, so your transmission will kind of mount the same distance as the other one. The ones where you have to actually, they're already pre-drilled. If it's not where it needs to be at, you can actually take out the motor or lift it up and move the brackets inside this engine bay shit, which is a pain in the ass. So what you would do is use these, you know, hand tighten them, keep them snug, and then you just slide the motor wherever you need it to go to line up to your transmission cross member. Another thing that I was looking at, this is your, I guess, sending unit for your stock application truck. Your sock, your fuel, in and return, which this is your return. And then this is your float to tell you how much fuel you got. Well, I was like, damn, how am I going to tell this truck? I'm pretty sure I'm not going to have everything working on this cluster. As far as like speed, I will get the temp to work. Voltage should work. Pressure, I'm not sure. If it's just one wire, it's one wire, it should work. But fuel, I'm like, well, shit, everybody wants to know how much fuel they got, especially with a small tank like this. So I was looking at it, I'm like, damn, how am I gonna tell? Well, this purple wire is a ground, and then I just noticed right now, well, you know, if you fucking follow wires, it's an orange wire. So that orange wire that I cut should work with this right here. Your ground, your power to your fuel pump, and then just obviously the last one is going to be your float, or your how much gas you got. I'm not exactly sure which one it is. I'm assuming it's a gray one, but I'm gonna look back into it again. What I do plan on doing is cutting this, because I don't have a connector to go to this side, and actually getting one from a different vehicle, maybe just something I can cut off from a different vehicle to be able to do quick connect if we ever need to drop the tank itself, instead of trying to hardwire it and then having to cut again for any kind of thing, and then just repeat the process over and over and over, just to make it easier on myself or whoever works on it next. Got the pan ready and clean. Did the wire wheel, clean this all up. All I do gotta do, like I said, is go back to the auto parts store and get the right oil pan gasket. I'll do that in a little bit. Another thing that I forgot to mention is whenever you do buy this kit, you are going to need one thing. It all depends on what kind of fuel system or fuel rail you're running. If you have your sending and return, you're going to need, if you're trying to make it as factory as possible without making any modifications out the ass and cutting, you're going to need some 6AN adapters for that fuel rail. You're going to need the 3/8 and 5/16, which is basically just the same thing as this. All it is so you look at this, has a little notch, so this piece can get slide over the rail itself where that little ridge is at, and then this back piece is just gonna, you know, jam in there. It has a gasket in there or an O-ring. You just tighten it. The back end of it is gonna be your regular chingo. Your regular, damn, these are all your regular 6AN. Yeah, these are all just to make the thing. But it's gonna be your regular 6AN where you can just tie it off with the female side, and the other side is just gonna be male. Another thing, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take pictures of all these connectors. Like I said, I was just taking shit off a lo pendejo, and whatever I see, okay, well, this went to this bullshit, we don't need it, then I'll know exactly what to cut, instead of cutting more than what I need to and getting myself into a little bit of a predicament trying to, oh damn, I ain't got this shit, but it's cut. Now I gotta figure it back out, see where I threw the excess shit out. Yeah, it's puro pinche pedo. So whenever I'm working on the truck, I'm not just relying on or solely focusing myself and getting this shit done, I'm gonna go ahead and take advantage and clean all this up for him since it's already out. I gotta take this heat shield off because I'm assuming it was like this, and I'm assuming everything, your exhaust was ran on this side because there was a hanger and shit for this side. I don't know how it was back in the day, so I'm gonna take this out just to make it a little bit cleaner, less shit under here. As much as he drives the truck, he ain't really gonna worry about feeling a little bit of heat under the floorboard, so we're gonna make that bitch obsolete as well. All this right here is for his airbags. He already had it whenever he bought the truck. It already came with it. So all I'm doing right now is just cleaning it up. All this shit, these two lines right here are coming for the tank. These go to the front distribution blocks, or however you want to call it, solenoids, to manage the front airbags, which doesn't have it anymore. But if he wants to do it again, everything's already ran, plumbed up. All he got to do is put bags and probably connect a couple things. Yeah. So all this shit was just zip tied to this one brake line, which was all goofy and shit and exposed and kicked out. So what I ended up doing, I'm gonna just call these saddles. I'm not exactly sure what they're called. So all these were on the long, we're running along the frame, holding some other shit up. I ended up doing is taking them off, putting the actual wires to manage the whole airbag system, and cleaned it up, have it as close as frame to the possible, because I don't know how much space we're gonna have with the 5.3. What I'm gonna end up doing is from here up, putting some loom or some heat shrink or something, just something that could protect it from the heat. So I gotta clean up a little bit back there. So this shit right here is from your transmission. This was actually connected to the back. This is what tells you your miles per hour. It's like a little needle. So it gets pushed in, which entitles you up there, or just turn the needle. We're gonna make this obsolete. We're gonna cut it off. We're gonna take it out. Which you're looking kind of upside down, but you'll be okay. So this pink peach color is from the bulkhead, and this light green and dark green is coming from the middle of the firewall. These two wires are the only things that are ran with the loom, and as well this bulk right here that goes with these wires is for your tail lights. So you see this here, you follow the loom, you get it out here. So these wires was actually your fuel system, however you want to call it. So these two wires are for the switch and your cab to switch from one side to the other side of the tank. This, if I'm not mistaken, from the bulkhead, it actually tells you how much fuel you have. So what I ended up doing is just cutting the old harness off that managed all that. What I ended up doing is cutting it off from the firewall since it's already ran. One of these is going to be my 12 volts for the fuel pump. I started trying to rerun some shit for it since it's already loomed. And this one would just get tied into the fuel pump itself, which should be the gray wire and the pump itself. The purple wire is going to get tied into one of these, and then the other one I'll just cap it off or put some electrical tape on it to make sure nothing touches it. But if I ever need, power source from here back for some extra auxiliary shit, we should be good. Now another thing that I have to figure out is all these wires right here. The most important ones you need are the bottom ones. So this is that goes to your starter for your 12 volts and your solenoid. And then alternator, old alternator. And then this is all this. I actually got to figure it out because this is extra shit that I don't know what it was for. Like that one. This pulley, if I labeled it right, which was from the water pump. So the only things I'll probably be able to make work for his cluster is fuel, oil pressure, probably not, temp for sure, and battery voltage. The rest of it is not going to work. If it doesn't end up working, if I'm not mistaken, the harness does give you OBD2, and from that OBD2, you could just plug a tuner if he wants to, just for the meantime. Have a little tuner display right here, and it'll tell him exactly all this shit here digitally. If that doesn't work, but like I said, I'll try to make it work, which is all this. So I'll have to clean this up, relume it, todo pinche pedo. But we should be squared away from here on out. What we got here Wait, who? Over here. Oh, you ready? Right here we got is a perfectly CNC cut piece of plate to cut this and block it off. Pero yo de basura. See that fucking lines up perfectly. I just forgot one thing. It's right here. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do it. I was planning on doing it. No, I got it. Mira. That's how you do it. So this little wood pussy motherfucker on there. Stay ready. Stay ready. Watch this shit. I learned this in technical college.
Bitch, you ain't going to no college.
Bam! See that? You got a dimple right there, right where I gotta make a hole. See them? So I ended up cutting this out of a piece of plate. We're going to block off the AC shit. Instead of having a hueco, we'll just use this, make it cleaner. Fuck it, we'll just leave it like this. Probably throw some stickers or some bullshit. It's gonna look good. I'll do one more cut, one more hole. Make the hole for the heater core. Just use a stepper bit. This one, this right here is my CNC plasma cutter. No, una basura. It should have gone to my shoe. Alright, it should be good now. Ay, con su perro madre, soy perro desgraciado. What the fuck? We're just gonna leave it like that. We ain't really gonna worry about painting it. It's just to block this shit off. This is here. See that motherfucker snug fit. And he still has his heater hose lines. Need another one right here. Damn it, son. What is it? I need one more, but I done lost that son bitch. No, that's it. I could probably stick something different in there. Ah, un perro desgraciado.
Artie, can I talk to you?
Vlogging. Oh, that better fire. That better follow me. That better fire. Smooth ass video.